Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit South Node Sextile or Trine Natal Uranus. Now, this transit may manifest what you're going away from, the past, what you're naturally proficient in at the time, some natural ability, something that may be affecting you to your detriment, being in harmony, friendships, goals, aspirations. Now I'm going to elaborate and expound on it. This is not about being something affecting you adversely, being in harmony with your goals or aspirations. Actually, but what it is that um, it could be about what you're going away from at this time will free you up to pursue your goals and aspirations. It's a good aspect because, I mean, not only because it's sextile and trine, I mean, you're talking about Uranus is the planet connected with freedom and independence. And it's about being able to go away from something that may be affecting you adversely. If you have your, say, the transit South Node is in Capricorn in the fourth house, it could be, depressing or limiting a home situation. Um, It could be, when you have this transit as well, it's also about doing something, being able to do things, sort of something that you feel you have a natural ability for at this time, and getting and doing so, maybe with your friendships, it could be with acquaintances, it could be people that are prominent in groups, clubs, or organizations as well at this point in time, and people that are prominent in your past may be beneficial to your goals and your aspirations and your future in general at this time. Now, some things I want to get into with this transit with the South Node, okay? Well, first off, the transit of the South Node doesn't like replace or supplant your natal South Node placement. The natal South Node placement is constant. That is there with you throughout the course of your life. It just you're accentuating. I can say you are accentuating the South Node, natal South Node placement, though more in that first half of life, but it's still with you. During the course of your life. This transit is just some energy you may be able to use and incorporate during the time of the transit. But another thing too is that some of you may wonder, okay, what is the difference like between this? When you have the transit with the sextile and trine in contrast to the conjunction transit. Well, sextile and trine, is auspicious. It's a positive aspect. Now the conjunction is neutral. Conjunctions can have good and bad qualities. The conjunction aspect can be very integrating, amalgamating, very intensifying. But the thing about it is when you have the sextile trine aspect, it's more flowing. It's a good blending of the energies. Now, the conjunction, as I stated before, can have good and bad qualities in them. And the thing about it is when you have a conjunction being so intensifying, it can be where there's such a focus on something, to the point, where it could be to the exclusion of other things in your life. And if you have your, say, for example, the transit South Node is making a conjunction to your natal Uranus, it could be a time where you may be, doing something with you feel some natural ability with with a friend or someone prominent, group, club, or organization, but it can be so intensified to the point where it's to the exclusion of everything else, or you're trying to, it could be where you're even moving away from some friendship or from some group at this time, or even a goal or aspiration. And if that's the case, it could be again where you become oblivious to other things in your life and it's to the exclusion of everything else. So it's really, the conjunction again is more more of a neutral transit aspect. But anyway, um, another thing is, anatomically speaking, okay, Uranus is connected with the ankles, the shins, the calves, nerves, circulation. It can also be about unusual protrusions or growths. And if you have any of these things I described that are anatomically connected with Uranus, well, this could be a positive time for going away from them. You're talking about the South Node, it's what you're going away from, And also, too, keep in mind that when you have the transit of the South Node making a sextile or a trine to your natal Uranus, you're going to have the transit of the North Node making a sextile or trine to your natal Uranus. If the transit South Node is making a sextile to the natal Uranus, then of course the transit North Node is making a trine to it. And if you have the transit South Node making a trine to the natal Uranus, then the transit North Node is making a sextile to your natal Uranus. So it's about being able to address and confront those issues positively. If you've had any hesitation or procrastination on taking care of any of those matters, if you do have something anatomically connected with Uranus going on at this time, this could be that auspicious time to actually take care of it. And it's also could be a time as well, if there's something that's unstable and you're erratic in your life, it could apply to that as well. Uranus, of course, it's erratic, it's sporadic, it's unpredictable energy. And another thing too, it could also be a time, especially if you are somebody that's an innovator or inventor, this is the time where you might be able to be somebody that was prominent in your past, whether it was someone from your early childhood or early education, may be beneficial to you, may collaborate with you, on some ingenious endeavor, at this point in time. And it's also a time as well where, really, if you're, because the South Node is about what you're leaving behind, Uranus is about your future. It's a very positive time again for leaving behind, something that might be worn out, that might be, it's not going anywhere at this time, and to move forward. Uranus is very progressive energy, so this could be a very positive transit in order to be able to do that at this point in time. And it's also it could be a positive time, I would say, also for for integrating yourself with society more. If you're if you're somebody that's, especially if you're a person that's very introverted and you're not much about getting out and about with people and being involved in groups, it could be more of a positive time for that, because you could be leaving behind something in order to go out and be able to do so and integrate yourself again. It could be with some kind of group, club, or organization, society in general, at this point in time. And anyway, well, another way this transit could manifest, it could be an auspicious time for getting away from, which is the South Node. It could be something unstable or erratic, which is Uranus. Now, let's say, for example, if you have your natal Uranus in the 6th house, it could be some work or employment situation. It could be a health-related issue at this time. And if you have your natal Uranus in Libra like me, it might be something with the lower back or kidneys, as an example. Could also be a time where it's positive to do something, where you feel naturally proficient in at this time, where you feel there's some strong ability, and which is the South Node, and also in having the freedom, which is Uranus, to actually do it. Now, let's say, for example, if the transit South Node is in Gemini, it could be doing something associated with manual dexterity. It could be communication, multitasking, showing just expressing versatility and doing something with the hands at this time. Maybe it's something with auto refrigeration mechanics as some examples. And also too, at the time of this transit, people prominent in your past, which is the South Node, may be more in harmony and agreement with your goals and aspirations, which is Uranus. Now, let's say, for example, if the natal Uranus is in Sagittarius in the 11th house, it could be doing something with sports or athletics or the outdoors. It could be something with publishing or advertising or exploration or adventure, which is Sagittarius, and it could be in a group which is the 11th house. Hold on a moment, people. Anyway, it could also be propitious to leave behind, which is the south node, to focus on your future, which is Uranus. Now, if your natal Uranus is in Capricorn, say, that future could be connected with politics, business, accounting, dentistry, information technology, maybe masonry, might even be general mundane work, as some examples. But anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.